Hi, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make two simple toy organizers. These are great to organize toys or books or just anything you have lying around that you need a little bit more organization in your life. So they're super simple, they're just made out of fabric and you just have to do a little bit of sewing, and I'll show you how to make those now. Okay, first you're going to cut a rectangle that measures 24 inches by 42 inches. Then you're wanting to fold the hem 1/4 of an inch and then once more and sew along this edge to create a clean hem on both ends of the rectangle. Then you're going to fold the rectangle up 9 inches and then down 12 inches. And this is going to create the pockets for the toy organizer. If you're using a striped or pattern fabric like mine, you can make sure your stripes and your patterns are lining up. Then you want to pin the side seams in place and sew along the side seams. On each of the 4 corners you can cut off a triangle shape, and this will make sure when you turn it inside out that the corners will be perfectly pointed. Now you want to find the center of your rectangle and then mark it and sew from the front flap and down through the center. This is just going to create an extra pocket. You can cut a 24-inch by 1-inch strip of fabric and fold it in half. You want to cut 6 of these and fold them in half and then sew along the 3 sides to create an opening at the bottom. Then I used this turner tool and switched it inside out. You can do this by hand, it just takes a little bit longer if you don't have a tool like this. You can also use like a straw and a skewer. It's nothing fancy, but I just picked it up at the store and it actually helps so much turning ties like this because I use this in a lot of my projects. You want to have 6 ties total, and then you can iron them to make them crisp and clean. You can use a seam ripper and seam rip about 1 inch on the sides, and then you can sandwich in the ties where you just rip the seam and sew along the side. You can also do this ahead of time by not even having to do the seam ripper, but this is something I always forget to do this step, so I'm kind of backtracking. Make sure you're sewing on the inside, and when you turn it right side out you won't even be able to see the hem. And for the middle I just took 2 ties and folded the ends twice to make a little flat edge, and then I sewed it to the back in the middle of the organizer. After you have all of your ties on, you can iron your entire organizer and then hang it up wherever you like. For the next organizer, cut a rectangle that measures 12 inches by 60 inches. This will allot for 3 large pockets. To cut the pockets, measure 8 inches by 12 inches and cut as many pockets as you like. You'll see in this video that I'm only making 1 pocket, but it's just an example, and in the end product I made 3 pockets. We just need to hem one side of every pocket, the longer side, so I'm going to hem it by folding it 1/4 of an inch and then once again and ironing it down to make the sewing process easier. Make sure you're changing out your bobbin and thread to be a coordinating color, and then you will sew along the edge to make a clean hem. Next you're going to cut your ties, and I'm cutting these a little thicker than my other organizer I made, so I'm cutting them about 3 inches by 15 inches and folding them in half. Then you'll sew around the 3 edges of the strip you just cut and leaving the opening at the bottom. Then you can use the turner tool and turn it inside out. Like I said, I love this tool, it makes it so easy. After it is flipped inside out, you can use your wooden skewer or whatever this is called and kind of point out the edges. Then you can iron it by finishing off your tie. Now you want to measure where you want your pocket to go. So I measured about 4 inches down from the top of my bottom piece, and the bottom piece is folded in half, and so this will be kind of the back of the organizer. And then I put pins in place to kind of make sure I knew where I wanted the pocket to end. And then where the pins are, I actually flipped over my pocket and lined it up upside down. Then I can sew across the back, and this seam will not be seen later on. Make sure when you're sewing you want to unfold your back piece so you're only sewing through the top layer of the back. This is so you'll be able to later turn your piece inside out. Now that you have sewn the pocket bottom into place, you can flip it back up and iron across to flatten it out. And then you're going to repeat this for however many pockets you want. And when you're done with the pockets, sewing the bottoms in place, you'll fold back down the bottom and pin the pockets in place. Before you do that, you want to also add your ties and sandwich it into the corners of the bottom piece. Next, you're going to sew along the side seams of your entire organizer, and then you're going to repeat this on both sides. You're going to cut off the top corners so that when you flip it inside out or right side out, you will have a crisp corner. And I'm going to iron it in place. And to finish off your organizer, whenever you have all your pockets done, you can flip up the bottom and then sew along the bottom to create a finished organizer. And that's all for making your toy organizers. You can like this video and subscribe below, because on Mondays we have new videos, and next Monday I have a sewing video with a mommy and me set, so you can subscribe to know when that's coming out.